Good evening everyone, I'm the Mariness, and welcome to my reaction to the Summer Paradox FNAF Theory Shorts 2, The Ferret Theory, by BlackFootFerret. So I won't have much of an intro since I don't know what I'm getting into, and if you want to know why I'm watching this, look in the description. So let's go.
Hello and welcome to your new
summer job, and the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
The first words you hear in FNAF 2 are its greatest mystery. Summer job?
Yeah,
Jeremy's check
it's in
shows November 1987,
November.
And the U.S. minimum wage shows.
So yeah, I know a bit what this is
the pool
about,
that might be
but
water on
not
camera
fully.
2 never evaporates between nights 1 and 7. No time travel is involved, and all our family
You'd be surprised.
Night 1. FNAF 2 must be an unbroken work week in winter 1987.
Also, context for when this is recorded.
Just like in FNAF 1? No,
Hold on,
because the
there's someone
restaurant
in the
investigation
background
progresses
doing
in real time after night 1, with Jeremy getting assigned to day shift after night 6 and vanishing before night 7. Fun Guy says Jeremy's birthday party is the last event scheduled at Freddy's, which is confirmed by the newspaper with Jeremy's overtime check. We're Gardo 2, following the single week of Gardo 1 shift, and the toy animatronics have been in use for a grand total of 1 week. Yet in that week, something happened that was so terrible that the first guard demanded a transfer without even telling Phone Guy why, then ran away, leaving Phone Guy to realize the horrible truth as the restaurant crumbled around him. The bite of 87 is never mentioned in FNAF 2, so what could Gardo 1 have seen?
You're dead.
I'm BlackFootFerret, and welcome to the second episode of FNAF Theory Shorts.
Okay.
This 5-video special recaps all my
solution to the
epic
murders.
Story of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and reboots and replaces my earlier series, The Final Theory. I've learned so many things over the last year that I thought it best to start over again. Each video builds on the next, so if you want to know the dark secret of FNAF 1, check out the first, solely special.
Is not short anymore.
To solve all the child murders at Freddy's, as well as taking a stab at why they happened in the first place. And the key to solving the timeline for FNAF 1 is the Summer Paradox.
We've seen this one.
So Fun Guy plays a tape that says
also, again, if you read the disclaimer before in the Final Theory stuff.
Because there's only one event in FNAF's lore that specifically happens in summer. The missing children incident. The Dread MCI where the 5 children who later possessed Freddy and
at first
died.
And then 3 later.
The incident the FNAF 1 ghost posters seem to say began with 2 missing children on June 26th, ending with a total of 5 in the second poster. So how can the Night 1 tape say it's summer but still be relevant to winter 1987? My theory is that nights 2 through 6 do happen live in winter 1987, but the Night 1 tape was actually recorded during the first
I don't know about that.
location in summer 1983.
It's kind of odd.
And the circumstances surrounding Jeremy's first shift at the Do It
Since he says
were so similar to its grand reopening 4 years later, in winter that Phone Guy simply replayed the Night 1 tape again. Which means the Summer Paradox is not only the key to solving 1 massacre at Freddy's, but 2, each one happening on Gardo 1 shift before Jeremy took over. Because this section of the lore is so tangled and complex, it's best if we go 1 step at a time. Let's start by reviewing the known kill events at Freddy's and their number of
all
victims,
kills in the series. There's a couple.
Is vital to identifying which minigames are referenced during
quite a
events.
bit.
The first murder happened outside the very first Freddy's, and going by Phone Guy's FNAF 1 comment about seeing the same song for 20 years.
not that. In fact, 10 years later,
FNAF 1 is in 1993,
which is funny.
This places the earliest restaurant and the puppet's creation in 1973.
Because we know from the books, thanks to them, that 1983 is when Charlie dies.
Fredbear's Family Diner, because we play as
this is a Freddy's, but it looks like Freddy and Fredbear are interchangeable thanks to the new security.
The Fredbear and Spring Bonnie spring suits were designed as golden quote-unquote superior versions of the
this is
existing
ears,
characters
though.
of Freddy and Bonnie, and were introduced in the new and improved Freddy's where FNAF 2 takes place.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Fredbear and Spring Bonnie were
At the original
first.
Freddy's of 1973, our first victim is seemingly stabbed by the Magenta Man, first referred to as the Pink Guy by the 8-Bit Gaming Channel. A phrase I adopted from my own Tubular and Theory video of the Color Brothers, which aired just before
I got to
FNAF
talk
4
now because I got copyright strike because of Looney Tunes and stuff. It is. It's not Henry. It's just a younger William. He's more fit.
Happens in the minigame Foxy Go-Go.
It was placed with kid codes. Okay. The missing children. I don't know.
He walks into a closed-off room to the east of Pirates Cove, and
I don't know if that's the
children
case.
he's been entertaining are now dead. Combined with Give
Like,
Gifts Give Life,
it's odd.
this seems to be the MCI
Putting the
itself,
4
where Freddy,
already
Bonnie,
bitten
Chica,
children in
Foxy,
suits.
and Golden Freddy were
Bitten.
The third kill event we know about happens during the Save Them minigame, a time when Mangle has replaced Foxy
Mangle and the toys,
Stove,
and the wooded bots out here must be winter.
On Gardo 1 shift the very week before Jeremy started his
Save
winter
Them,
shift in
Master.
FNAF 2. So how do you tell the MCI and
I don't
Save Them
know about
massacres
that
apart
one.
if they both have 5 victims?
I
Because
mean,
Save
there's
Them doesn't have
blood
5
everywhere.
victims. It has 6. A quick look at the Save Them map shows 5 bodies scattered far away from
There's
5
also
huge
6
blood
one.
spots. but a closer look
somewhere.
reveals a sixth blood spot under the puppets box, if you can get that far without
six
being ambushed
blood.
by the purple guy. And 6 victims makes sense because we see the origin of 6 new characters.
All the
in FNAF
animatronics.
2. Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Balloon Boy, Mangle, and JJ.
There's
Don't
also
forget Shy Balloon Girl.
puppets already possessed.
So each kill event in FNAF actually has a unique number of victims.
6.
Lets us identify which minigames
This is how I see the amount of kids dead here. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Back in 1973. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy are the 5
but
victims
the
of
missing
the
children
MCI.
incident we know
Their
for a
deaths are
fact
shown
happens
Foxy
in
Go-Go,
1985
while
now.
wife tells the puppet
So
place the 4 remaining
sadly,
bodies into their
that
suits,
kind of breaks
while
the
Golden
theory.
Freddy
So
gets
I'll
stuffed
talk
into
about the
Fredbear
points
along with Shadow Freddy,
in the
cameos
big
as the
video,
Ghost at the end.
as you
Events
see
that
in
must have
the
happened at
description.
The first opening of the new and improved Freddy's in the summer of 19.
Like I said, it's comparing
Toy
modern to
Freddy,
FNAF
Toy Bonnie,
2
Toy
old.
Chica, Mangle, Balloon Boy, and JJ all came from the Save Them Massacre.
And
the
again,
second opening of the new
one
improved
thing
Freddy's
that
in
not a
winter
lot of people
1987,
like to
just
hear
before
is,
Jeremy shifted
for
to
some
FNAF.
reason, the toys
When
are
you put the 3
possessed,
events
even though
together,
they
you
are.
get
At least my
apparently
friends
complete
don't like to
roster
hear
of
that.
all the child animatronic
Like,
characters we encountered before
it's
FNAF
kind of
1.
obvious.
Now we need to establish that the new and improved Freddy's has been opened twice,
Yeah.
and that both times it was the same location. FNAF 2 was
Reopened?
only open for 2
Like the
weeks
beginning?
in winter 1987, with Gardo 1 and Gardo 2, Jeremy, each working a week, with Gardo 3
Have to be on
Jennifer
for a
Smith
few short
working
weeks.
a single night on day 7 after Jeremy's
Is he?
reassignment. The last day before the police investigation into the Save Them Massacre shuts down the restaurant for good. Yet the newspaper clipping with
Same
Jeremy's
bill.
overtime
So yeah,
check
it
says
says
the restaurant has been
reopening.
open for a few short weeks.
I think that
Two being
old
more than
location
2.
had the
This very
Withers.
restaurant has been open before.
Because the
That's why
Withers would be
opening screen
operational
for
by
FNAF
that
2
time.
heralds the grand reopening of a vintage pizzeria. And further evidence can be
pizzeria.
found in the details of the MCI,
Much
which we now
so.
know is referenced in
Well,
Foxy Go-Go.
the
The
problem-
FNAF 1 ghost
I don't
poster
think that's
describing
the
the
case.
MCI
At
claims
this
5
point, it's
children were
kind of
lured by a
getting to
man
that point where
specifically
it
dressed
could
as
be
a
another
cartoon
set of
mascot,
victims.
luring them into a back room. If this back room had cameras in it,
I
as
don't
most
know if
rooms at
this
Freddy's
is
do,
technically
fate
the
of 5
back
children wouldn't
room.
have been a mystery. Police could have played the tapes and seen exactly what happened to them. Instead, the bodies were never found. The back room wasn't just any room; it was the secret room with the location, which Phone Guy says is
I don't
never
think
on
it
camera.
is.
So we're looking for a
The secret
location. There's
room.
a secret room located east of
Because
Pirates
why
Cove.
would the
This
secret
immediately
room be
knocks
a
out
place
the FNAF
where
1
you
building,
go?
because its version of Pirates Cove is on the west wall
Yeah,
of its huge central
it's more like
dining
a
hall.
Foxy-centric
Both too large and too
location.
exposed for this deed. We know firsthand there's a camera there.
Yeah,
But in the second
there's no
opening
tables.
of FNAF 2's location, Pirates Cove was converted to Kids Cove,
Kids Cove,
where Mangle resides.
which goes
the
up.
Save Them map has a blank spot on the grid right to the east of Kids Cove, a suspicious square of blackness that's also right next to the puppets box.
I don't know.
If you rewound time to the first opening when Foxy
That's
ran
an interesting
Pirates
one
Cove,
since
the events
Foxy is
depicted in
still
Foxy
withered.
Go-Go could easily be happening here.
But who
Popular
knows?
theory says the
That may have
purple
been
guy
his
killed the
stick.
MCI kids by luring them to the back room using the Spring Bonnie suit.
But is
there's no
someone
sign of
missing?
Spring Bonnie in these
Hello.
minigames, with good reason. The FNAF 1.5
A cartoon
victim poster
mascot
said the
lured
suspect
them
was
into a
dressed
back
as
room.
A cartoon mascot, quote unquote. Not just a Freddy's
But that's not a back
character,
room
but one that
though.
actually
That's
appeared in Fazbear Entertainment,
that's at
the
least
original
some
cartoon
type of dining
Fredbear.
area. It's not the
And the
dining
FNAF
area,
4
but
cartoon Easter
it's
egg
some
shows
type of
Fredbear
one.
hanging out with Foxy, Bonnie playing guitar, Chica offering cupcakes, and Freddy getting the full face hero shot
Must
as the lead
appear.
singer character. As strange as it might seem, Spring Bonnie, Fredbear's supposed right-hand animatronic, never appears in the cartoon. And
Yeah,
cannot be
which
the suit
is,
used to lure the MCI
interesting.
kids. This checks out because Spring Bonnie never appears in Foxy Go-Go either.
Yep.
With Foxy, who was in the
Well,
cartoon,
because it's
acting as
most
a
likely
word suit during
Foxy's
the MCI,
location.
and looking as surprised as everyone else when the
This
kids
is more
suddenly
like
turned
how
up
Into the
dead.
Pit
Fredbear
describes
and
it,
Friends
where the
also
bodies
wrote
were
in 1983,
thrown about,
and while the
or at
crying
least the
child of
killings
FNAF 4
happened
could be
in
watching this 80s show
visual.
and reruns anytime afterwards, the cartoon
At least it
establishes
basically
Fredbear
describes
was
that.
active in 1983.
I like you can see the dead
Fredbear's
kids
family
right before
diner
it
has been
switched.
closed for years as of winter 1987. But it must have been open alongside its sister location, the new and improved Freddy's.
The thing is,
summer
Fredbear is
1983.
opened at least
As I
sometimes in the
mentioned in part
70s,
one,
but
Golden
not
Freddy
like
is the
very
phantom
early.
animatronic of a victim who died and was stuffed
It's
inside
not,
the Fredbear spring
maybe
suit.
not even in
So
the
while Spring
70s,
Bonnie
because
wasn't
according
on hand
to
for the
Silver
MCI,
Eyes,
Fredbear
the reason
must have been
Henry
there at the
started
time the
making
5 children were
animatronics was
stuffed.
because
We also
Charlie
learned a
inspired
very
him,
interesting bit of
which
lore
must have
in
happened in the 80s.
that the MCI,
So, yeah.
the site of the multiple simultaneous spring lock failures, happened at the sister
Nah.
location. First, let me clear
Not
up
at
popular
the
belief
sister
about why this
location,
message
but
refers to several
at-
suits failing
at
once,
a location
rather
that's
than
similar to
several spring
FNAF
locks
1.
failing on a single suit. There
Since
is no
why
such
would the
thing
newspaper
as a
be there?
single spring lock failure. The Silverized shows us how the compressive force of a single spring lock giving out also sets off other spring locks around it, like dominoes or firecrackers.
Oh, hello, sis location. So there's a time frame for me.
All spring locks have failed. Just like Night 4 of Sister Location, you can't afford to let even one spring lock fail.
Like, I believe the recent Phasma Fright story says that one thing is just the spring lock.
A routine thing at Freddy's.
Or like even New Kid, I don't know.
From such a failure is to quickly run.
It's been a while since I need to refresh on some Phasma Fright stuff.
The only time when employees are actually allowed into that room. A single spring lock failure death has
used
no
to be, but of course, stop breaking.
As an evil, literally
stop going on break there.
Discrete solo failures actually help further the true objectives of the company, which are far more ambitious and sinister than selling stale pizza. Only a truly large and shocking incident, powerful enough to pop the bubble of plausible deniability the company has wrapped itself in, and threaten the entire organization with a police investigation that could expose all of its horrors, would get Phasma Entertainment's management to halt the use of its soul-sealing spring suits for even a little while. Because while there may be a relatively small chance of any given spring suit failing on any given day, the only statistical possibility for several suits all failing exactly the same.
That is true. I will agree on that.
Someone just engineered the deaths of an entire room full of people.
Ooh.
The phone guy never said the multiple failures happen to employees. 2 deaths would be a couple.
Oh no, is this where the
much closer to
all the animatronics are spring locks come in?
The multiple spring suit incident is a direct reference to the MCI, and its aftermath shown in Give Gifts, Give Life, where the puppet stuffs the MCI victims into the animatronic spring suits to give their souls a second chance at life. And one more popular thought to address: the belief that only 2 spring suits exist.
More than 2. Well, you're not exactly wrong, but nah.
Right now, we have 2 special suits. Before explaining the spring suit operation,
Withered Foxy's not a spring suit.
Famous golden suits, Spring Bonnie and Spring Freddy, aka
He's not them.
But the right now
and O2 is not the spring lock design either.
In fact, the golden suits weren't even the first spring suits.
Nightmare animatronics aren't representative of the spring suits. They're a type of... The Nightmare animatronics are kind of like them, but they're not exactly, since even though they do have 5 fingers, that doesn't automatically indicate that they're a spring suit.
The original horrid-smelling MCI suits that are now in disrepair.
Again, I know this is stuff you wouldn't learn about until later, but that's the point of the idea I'm doing.
Happening in winter 1987. It also tells us that, since summer 1983 was not a different location, but the first opening of the same building.
Well, not the 73, because that's a bit a while ago, but...
1973 Freddy's where the puppet was born.
But,
this makes sense, because the
FNAF
first thing
2 did exist for a while.
Children is a human performing in the original brown Freddy spring suit. This cannot be an autonomous animatronic.
Cannot be.
The FNAF 2 Night 1 call lists the company allowing the animatronics to walk around during the day as one of the improvements
interesting.
They new and improved Freddy's versus the old restaurant.
I would think that as well.
1973
we don't know exactly, really.
During the day. The Freddy in the
we know that the location was eventually reused. That location right there was eventually reused for FNAF 6 because that's the starting minigame. That means that location is this location in FNAF 6.
On the Freddy MCI victim.
What?
We see a similar situation in Foxy Go-Go.
Foxy's not a spring suit because
the FNAF 1
I think that would be just disaster waiting to happen, really.
Was caught on camera luring the kids in a cartoon mascot.
Suspect convicted. Well, he was taken into custody in the books.
The human inside this Foxy suit was Gardo 1.
He's not a human. Foxy is not wearable.
The
only Foxy that is quote-unquote that could be a wearable suit is Twisted Foxy.
The withered animatronics, the very ones whose odor closed the restaurant in 83, all originally came from the first Freddy's in 73.
I don't think the withers are spring suits.
The original management of the first Freddy's didn't allow the
I would say 5 fingers, but we've seen spring suits with less fingers. But
could Freddy and his friends have actually been alive and sentient before the MCI, when they absorbed the children's souls? But this is too much for today.
I don't think
Let's save it for the next episode. I apologize for taking
I don't think they could move, but
the
I don't
timeline
know.
here is very complex, and you can't see how all the pieces
Well, no,
fit into
but
place
because they would
have
have to, you know,
We're here to solve
be
the
possessed in order to get moved.
back to them. So far, we've established that multiple spring suits exist, and that the incident where several of them
They're
all
not different
the
spring
MCI
suits.
itself.
There's
The
only
puppet put the bodies of
a
4 of
couple,
the
but
5
not
MCI victims
exactly
into spring
2.
suits as a
So
way of giving
sorry.
their souls new life as animatronics.
Sorry, yeah,
With
I
the
was
5th
trying to
child,
put
a boy
that,
named
but
Michael
yeah,
Ronaldo,
there's
was stuffed
at
into
this
Fredbear,
time
became Golden
there's
Freddy after
like
Shadow
only a
Freddy
couple.
attempted to eat him. So how
Stuffed
can we
into
be sure that
Fredbear.
the
Well,
1983 new and improved Freddy
well
was
now we
related
have
to
Cassidy.
Sister A sister location suggests 2 locations are open at once.
Let's see.
Since Fredbear is active in summer 1983 as
Who's
an
new
animatronic
Freddy's?
cartoon character,
Yo.
it stands to reason that Fredbear's Family Diner is open then as well. Fredbear's wasn't the
sister
restaurant in
location,
1973
even,
and was closed in winter in 87, so summer 83 was definitely when it was open.
The sister location.
The FNAF 3
That's
Night
not
4
really
says
what
the
a
multiple
sister
Springlock
location
failures
is,
happened
is
at
it?
the sister location. Fredbear's Family Diner is always pictured as
Like,
having 2 animatronics, Spring
I
Bonnie
don't
and
know.
Fredbear. So the incident must have happened at Freddy's
The
instead of
sister location is
Fredbear's
probably
because
just
only Freddy's
Fredbear's.
had enough suits on hand for the incident. This call must be coming from someone in Fredbear's Family Diner, sounding
Fredbear's
very much
Family
like the
Diner.
manager there, talking about the other restaurant.
Thanks
As
for
another
everything's
side note,
recording.
one guy said he wasn't the owner of Fredbear's, yet this call shows someone with his exact voice recording a message from Fredbear's
Well,
with a manager attitude that talks down to the listener.
let's see.
Could someone be pulling an Ennard and mimicking the phone guy's voice? But enough
No.
sidetracking. We've got murders to solve, and it's time we
Mimicking
got back to the Summer Paradox.
mimicking
The idea I
voices
put
is a
forward
common
was that
thing in the
FNAF 2
FNAF
Night
series,
One
as
call
we've
was
seen with
pre-recorded in
Clutch Up
summer
Chaser and
83
stuff.
while still
But I
being
don't
linked to
think
Jeremy,
Phone Guy's
while the
voice
other
was
FNAF
mimicked
2
here.
calls happened in real time
I
in
think
winter
he's just
87,
younger.
and it's time to prove that. Let's break down the clues
If you're
to
talking
each
about
of
the FNAF
2
3
calls.
ones.
Night 1 is Phone Guy insisting that the new Freddy's is better than the old one, listing all the reasons and upgrades, including
New
the facial
and
recognition
improved,
system that can
better
identify criminals
place.
and especially convicts. Phone Guy says you are Gardo
We
2
are
at the
Guard
location
2,
after
Guard
Gardo 1
1
requested a
transferred after
transfer
week
to
1.
day shift after
Relax,
his
we're
week
already
because some of the
attacking Guard
animatronics
1.
tried to attack his office. The
Yeah.
puppet is already active. Phone Guy
Indeed.
says there's a music box by the prize counter in the prize
Must
corner
be
designed
inside
to
this
keep it at bay,
plushie.
constantly playing the song My
Or
Grandfather's
it could
Clock.
be the
But
music
Freddy
box
had his listed
itself,
as a defense
which
against
we
the
have
other
seen.
animatronics. So at the time of Night 1's call, the puppet is
Because
active, and the
even in
MCI is
VR,
already active
again,
since
I know
multiple
future
animatronics
stuff,
attempted to
but,
attack
you know.
Gardo 1's office during the week. There is no mention
We
of the
see
toy
the puppet's
animatronics
music
or
box
the withered
playing without the
animatronics
need of
in
a
Night
plushie
1.
nearby,
Night 2
so.
first mentions the withered animatronics and how they're from the previous
Hello.
location. Phone
It
Guy
is
mentions
I.
they started to retrofit the wizards with newer
Smell,
technology,
yeah.
but their ugliness and smell made the company
Toys
abandon
contains
the idea
withered
and develop the
parts?
toys instead, using parts from the wizards.
I
He
think.
seems to like Foxy,
Kinda, yeah.
warning you to use the flashlight against
I
him,
don't like
and how
that
the
puppet
Freddy head
thing.
won't work on
Yeah.
Foxy since he's always been twitchy. Phone Guy says your flashlight
Yep,
should
they are
temporarily
from a
stun any
previous
animatronic,
location
old
that
or new.
was here
He also says he
beforehand.
never liked the puppet because it was always thinking and could go anywhere.
Yeah.
So Night 2 established the withered animatronics as the MCI animatronics from the smell, and that the toys contain parts from the wizards.
The thing is, you can't really
The
split
puppet
it.
is still there, even though Phone Guy doesn't like it. This call must be from
The wizards,
Night 3's call is Phone
since
Guy
we know
asserting
now
Foxy
that
was always his
the
favorite,
missing
and seems to
incident
lament the company's
happens
decision to remake
after,
Foxy and
like
establish
during
kids' code. He describes him a
1985,
mangle who he calls
because
Foxy.
it's been
It's
said
torn
over
apart
and
by
over
kids after
again.
every shift.
We
Phone
know
Guy also
that
says rumors have
it's
begun to
exactly
circulate about
like
the
this.
restaurant, but since Gardo 1, who's
Save
been
the
watching
master.
opening to close, has reported nothing wrong,
He-
Phone Guy dismisses the rumors. In Night 4's call, Phone Guy mentions there's an
4.
investigation going on, saying it's
Yep.
just a precaution.
Phone
that
Guy
sometimes
investigate.
incidents happen.
I know I
He asks
trailed
you
off
not to
there.
make eye
Sorry.
contact with the animatronics,
Trying to
since someone
listen
might have
because
tampered with their
I
facial
don't
recognition.
have
And that while the
correct
robots treat the
headphones
kids
still,
just
sadly.
fine, they just stare at adults and are downright
Heh.
hostile to the staff.
Woo.
On Night 5, the building is on lockdown, with nobody being allowed in or
Guard
out.
1 has
Worse
vanished.
Still, Gardo 1 has fled the building.
He's
or gone into
gone.
hiding without giving a reason.
disappeared.
The Phone Guy worriedly remarking that the day shift position is now
The
available.
position
after
became
he left.
available.
Phone Guy also
I
mentions
don't know.
trying to contact the original owner of Fredbear's, but isn't optimistic.
He could be
since Fredbear's
William.
been
I've
closed
seen
for
the
years.
reactions
The owner
on
of
that,
Fredbear's
but
wasn't
no,
Phone Guy.
I don't know,
On Night
honestly.
6, things get dark. Phone Guy is surprised
We
to
never
see
really
Jeremy
talk
at
about
all,
the guard,
although the building
that guard.
on lockdown he shouldn't be. The building is now officially closed down.
What are
at
you
least
even
for a
doing
while.
there? Didn't
Someone
you
used
get
one
the
of the
memo?
suits.
Also,
Got a
I
square in
see
the back, a yellow one.
little,
Someone used
little
it. Now none of
spelling
them are
error
acting
there.
right. Phone Guy finally realized the Save Them massacre has happened, an entire week after the fact, and that someone in one of the golden suits committed the act. In spite of the building being officially closed due to the spectacularly
no.
brutal murders of
He's
6
dead.
people by a homicidal Terminator-class
Now, none of
robot
them are
suit,
acting
Phone Guy
right,
informs Jeremy
meaning
he's
that
being
all
assigned to cover
the
a birthday
toys are
party on the
possessed
day
now.
shift the following day. He should wear his uniform, which the robots will love, and stay as close to them as possible.
Wear
Phone Guy
his
says he'll do the night
uniform.
shift himself in the restaurant
I
room.
wonder what this is leading
Phone Guy
up
says he'll
to.
take the night shift because he knows Jeremy isn't coming back. The
Fair
Bible
enough,
7 is
honestly.
never referenced anywhere in FNAF 2. The restaurant closes because
We
of
have-
the ongoing
yep.
investigation into the
It has to be
Save Them
closed.
massacre, and
It's
was slated to
because, you
close
know.
at the end of the week, regardless of whatever happened on the day shift of
Yeah,
day 7.
exactly.
Yet FNAF 2 is
So,
only open for
so at
2
least
weeks
this is
in winter
right
7,
still.
and the dreaded
Not,
Bite of
the Bite of
87
87
must
has to
during that
happen
time.
before Night 7
Phone Guy
because,
survives until the construction of FNAF
you know.
1. He wasn't bitten. Purple Guy survives until the
Yeah.
destruction of FNAF 1. He wasn't bitten either. And the
Yeah.
animatronics would never have been
Jeremy
mutated or
is the
repaired.
Bite of
They were
87
only hostile
victim.
toward towards the staff of Freddy.
And probably because of the uniform, they thought he was William. So you're dead. Yes, this is what I think. But which animatronic do you think bit him?
We will learn who caused the bite of 87 before the end of this video.
Okay.
To stay focused when
Let's see what you did. Let's see how you're doing. Because this,
the summer paradox is
the paradox itself is like,
story because it establishes a similarity between events in
because we noticed that there's summer, but I don't know if it's summer '83.
Summer '83 and his second shift in winter '87 were so similar that Phone Guy simply replayed the first summer '83.
I don't think that's the case, but I think the summer job thing is that it's like an earlier, or Scott didn't read it. We need to ask him on that, really.
Gardo 1 requested a day transfer. In both times, Gardo 1 requested the shift because animatronics had begun to attack him at night. Because in both 87 and 83, a massacres occurred during Gardo 1's week, leading to animatronics becoming possessed.
So William took the job twice over.
Both these weeks that parallel each other in time, but Gardo 1, who was on hand when both the MCI and Save the Massacres
but I don't think so. We
know
in 83 William just kills Charlie, really.
Refers to the employees in third person,
and then afterwards Elizabeth
when he can pass down edicts to.
Earlier it was Crime Child,
so the secret room if they're not dying, or
then he planned the whole thing for 87, not 87, 85,
and yet, despite the lack of respect he shows,
and then most likely kills him
actually
87.
Grants Gardo 1's request for a transfer to day shift not once,
Congratulations,
Phone Guy laments over Foxy's reduced status and kids.
That's kind of the bad thing with this theory, is like, why would they hire him again if he's a suspect?
The facial recognition systems of the robots are described in Night 1, so these were in play even in 1983, and were likely just what they said they were. Security measures designed to identify and catch convicts. Since there were no convicts,
William does have some tech skills, not all of it.
For the staff. However, the Ghost
he likes to steal
FNAF
stuff.
1 announced something very different from the novel, that the suspect charged of luring the MCI kids to the back room actually was convicted despite the bodies never being found. At this point in time, this person would show up on a criminal database. Should they try to work at Freddy's again? The animatronics would detect them.
1985. Don't know how William evaded that.
Theorizes that someone tampered with the
AKA tampering with the suits.
Such a person would not only have to be an insider at Freddy's, but they'd have to have a good deal of technical know-how, like the single technician Freddy's has on staff. And they would also have to have a reason for the tampering.
Our technician,
so Gardo 1 was an important figure at Freddy's who witnessed
which we know in this location Michael is a technician, so logically his father would be.
The MCI kids into the back room in '83.
So I guess that would make sense.
At Freddy's. Who is this person?
It is
the answer
the
in a rare event
William.
during the Save Them minigame. Then in '83, Gardo 1 was William
Bonk.
Afton, the mysterious purple guy. To quickly
and you
reference
see
both
the badge
earlier
as
video
well.
of the Color Brothers and the novel The Silver Eyes, Freddy's is run by a
He's
two-man
not
team,
Henry.
including
Pink guy's
resident
not
technician
Henry.
William Afton, who uses the fake name Dave
Henry.
Miller in the book. And Henry,
It's now
Charlie
Emily,
and Sandy's
thanks
dark-eyed
to
father,
the recent
whose
books.
last name is never given.
AKA
Henry is pictured in
the
photographs
fourth
wearing a
closet.
Fredbear suit, while William's suit of
Dave
choice in the
Miller
novel is
as the
Spring Bonnie.
technician.
William is marked as the purple guy of the novel by his naturally tall and thin forward
my
hunched frame,
face.
and the weight loss he experiences between his financially treated Santa Claus phase and a living
I love
skeleton
that
Charlie
you use that as
later.
evidence,
This
but
weight
then
loss is
Pink
mirrored
guy's
in the
like,
games
no, he's
between the
not
purple
weight
guy
loss.
Easter egg in FNAF 4, the purple guy Save Them sprite in FNAF 2. Henry is twice described as being pink in the novel, looking pink and sweaty in a photo after taking off the Fredbear.
Well, that was
and
just
the
some
salmon color that
thing.
Charlie swore was pink, and her childhood filing cabinet in his office.
Magenta.
The dark eyes in the family photos also invoke the black eye sockets of the Magenta Man sprite in FNAF 2.
Nah,
Nicknamed
sadly
the Pink
not.
Guy,
And
even
that's
though he
not
has nothing
Charlie,
to do
sadly.
with Filthy Frank. William is
Because
the purple guy, and Henry is the
at least
pink
it's
guy,
not the
aka
same
Magenta
appearance
Man,
as Charlie.
the two sprites we see in FNAF 2. Purple guy is tall and skeletally thin,
Big.
with an oval face and a long forward-bent giraffe-like neck, who sometimes wears a badge or carries a spring crank tool
Yeah,
for
because-
setting spring suits or demolishing
because
them.
this
He has a
is
set of blazing
fat.
white eyes, almost like Henry
Yes,
Clark.
fat.
This guy is shorter, stockier,
Giraffe
square-edged.
neck?
He has
Where
no
have I
neck and
heard that
carries no
before?
movements, and has a set of pure black eye sockets. These sprites belong to two different
They are
men,
different.
and while Purple Guy
Yet they're the
loses
same
weight from 83
character,
to
as
87,
Sky's
Pink Guy looks
pointed out
exactly the same
by
from
saying that
73 to
Pink Guy is
83.
purple
These
guy
are two different
when he
characters
looked at a
entirely,
piece of
which
fan
is
art.
clearly stated in the novel. I called them the Color Brothers back in July 2015, 2
Brothers.
days before FNAF 4's sudden launch, because the two men must share some powerful bond and continue working together, even after so many terrible
I
things
don't know
have
about
happened.
that one,
William
though.
got convicted for his role in luring
I mean,
the MCI
not literal
kids, but
brothers.
still applied to work at the very same job at Freddy's 4
I don't
years
think
later. And
I don't think Phone
amazingly,
Guy and
Henry,
William are even
Phone
close
Guy, let him
related,
do
sadly.
it. While the two might not literally be brothers, they must
We
be
don't even
family
know
of some
much
kind
about
to work
Phone
together
Guy
and trust
after
each
the
other
whole
after so much
we
has
figured
gone
out
wrong.
that they're not the
William's
same,
penchant for
or
fake
even a
names
killer.
and tech know-how as the
We
single
don't know
technician
about
at
him.
Freddy's also link him to two other
William,
famous aliases.
so we have
Fred
Dave.
Smith and the infamous Mike Schmidt. Both
I
Fred
don't
Smith
think
and
so.
Mike Schmidt share the same Anglo-German
Dave
pattern of two
Miller.
common names spliced together.
Mike
and Smith and
Schmidt,
Schmidt
we
are
now
literally
know
the
as
same
Mike.
name in each language.
Like,
Although Fritz and
see
Smith
your-
are both
put in
common
your name
names,
as
their
seen above the
combination together
keypad.
is very rare since Fritz is a derogatory name English soldiers
Though
call
Fritz
German
Smith, he
soldiers
might
in
have
World
something
War II.
there.
It's very unlikely that the English Smith family would call their own son Fritz. Fritz and Mike, and eggs Benedict in sister location, share an ability. They're all technicians, and are
So,
the only characters in the entire
Eggs
FNAF
Benedict.
series with the ability to manually adjust the animatronic settings to allow for a custom.
Michael is Michael, but this is probably before Syslocation Custom Night, so
adjust
yeah.
the settings of a ghost like Golden Freddy in FNAF 2? Because GF was stuffed into the Fredbear suit just like Shadow Freddy was, and Fredbear, complete with intact endoskeleton, is in the building in FNAF 2.
Oh, Syslocate. So this is after Syslocation Custom Night, when Mike... It's me, Michael.
But have such detailed esoteric knowledge about the workings of animatronics. Fritz Smith and Mike Schmidt are the FNAF 1 through 5 aliases of William Afton, who has actually worked with Henry/Phone Guy at 3 different
Funnily
times
enough,
record,
we think
even
a lot of Phantom thinks
so,
Michael has a
Gardo
lot.
Is Purple Guy, and we have 2 confirmed
like
cases
things.
where a total of 11 kids died.
11 kids,
Is William a
plus
serial
more.
killer? Is this an open and shut case?
Huh. Yes.
First, I need to restate that while the
Yes, he is the killer.
And FNAF World are parallel
Let's explore
continuities,
parallel
which I can
universes.
offer us
I
clues
thought
and
that was a
insight
joke
into
I
the
left,
mysteries
but
of
we're
the
actually
FNAF
doing
1
this.
through 4 story. Details within each universe may be
Wait,
changed or
this
even
location.
entirely flipped.
What?
To invoke a term used in comics,
What?
each is an alternate universe
Hold on.
of Earth 2.
When did this
The hero in
location
one
become
world
Earth
might be a
3?
villain in the next, and the different outcome of a
That's,
single could radically change the
That's
story.
Elizabeth.
In FNAF 1 through 4, the first location is Freddy's, and the Silver Eyes is
That's,
Fredbear's.
Elizabeth.
Silver Eyes is set in Hurricane, Utah, while FNAF 1 through 4 is set in Niagara Falls, New York.
That's
If you haven't seen the video,
Elizabeth.
there's a confirmed post of my discovery earlier. In the book, Golden Freddy is a young boy named Michael that was
It's like-
stuffed into Fredbear, while in sister location, Golden Freddy
We
has somehow
even
kept
called
his
her
name while being stuffed in
Afton's
Springbody's
daughter.
Springtrap instead. In the book, William Afton is the evil
First
business
victim,
guy on the team,
Sammy.
and kills
No.
Sammy, the first victim on record. In the game,
As
Henry
Twisted
plays
Ones
the
point
first
out,
victim, who
I
wasn't
didn't
Sammy,
take
takes
him.
the role of phone guy,
I took
the beloved
you.
two-faced spokesperson for evil businesses everywhere.
Niagara
In the
Falls,
book, William
no.
delights in the rush of
It's just
power
Hurricane
and
Utah
crushing
still,
children
thanks to
inside
FNAF
animatronic
6, we
spring
know
suits
that.
And adding them to his robot family.
Brags
In
about-
sister location, in the Earth 1 version of the timeline,
Well, because
William travels to a dark
William
place to
is
rescue
the
a young
same
girl
William.
and
He's
her
both a
family
scientist
during many
and a
trials along the
killer.
way. Who, then, is the William Afton
He's
of
not a
FNAF 1
hero.
through 4? Is he guilty, innocent, or somewhere in between? Let's find out.
He's not a
First, we
hero.
declare William of the puppet's death. The pink guy, Henry, performed this act
It's
back
not
in
Henry.
1973. Pink
Why
Guy was
would he
outside
kill
the
his own
restaurant in
daughter?
73, but his
Like,
inside
if
is in 83, and outside
Blackfoot,
the
if you
King
still
and
believe
Insider.
Pink Guy is
This
Henry,
reflects
why
the
would he
puppet's
kill his
stabbing
own
incident
daughter
that caused the
outside?
original 73 Freddy's to close and get bought out and reopened by Fazbear.
I know you
Henry
probably don't
essentially
still
staged
believe
a
this,
battle
but I
with the
just
family
want to say
company
just in
after
case.
engineering its fall. The puppet floats right
Purple
past Purple Guy
magenta?
during the Save the minigame, and
Doesn't
neither
like the
character
puppet.
attacks the other. Phone Guy might
Hello.
not like the puppet, but when it comes to Purple Guy,
Hey,
they seem
wait,
to be cool.
nah.
In a similar way, we established that Purple Guy was the person piloting Foxy during the Foxy Go-Go minigame,
Kill.
who was then convicted of luring the MCI.
Oh, is this the
and had
Purple
to
Guy
tamper with the
innocent
robot's
theory?
facial
Because all the time we
recognition
see in
so
a
it
dead body,
the minigame
it's
shows
the
us
pink
that the
guy.
MCI kids were dead before William/Foxy entered the room, so even though he was convicted for the deed, he didn't actually kill the kids. We see Henry, the pink guy, watching in the background.
Henry's
Foxy
not
makes
the
his
killer.
third run. Can we blame
we
Henry for these murders too?
we know this
This
100% now.
No. If Henry/Pink Guy/Phone Guy was the top-notch mad scientist I described in the
Trial of
cover,
Henry
Ferguson
Afton.
fired children that had gone off
Henry
the oil machine.
Afton.
The animatronics stuffed
I've
right
heard
up
Henry
the
Miller.
the suits slowly absorbed their souls
Top
into the
notch
soul,
mad
but then quickly
scientist.
retired
This is
to the
kind of
Astro
funny.
facility below and replaced by a lineup of backup suits that were already ready
That's
to go
kind
in
of funny
seamless
now.
transition.
We
Instead,
know
the
that
company
William's
panics
the mad
after
scientist of the
MCI
two.
and are forced to actually use the stuffed robots on the stage as people scramble to find
This is
temporary
very
costumes while
funny.
other set of replacement suits are being made. If the
The
goal of the
actual
company at
MCI.
this time was stuffing the
Living
children,
rotten
this is a
metal.
huge logistical
That's kind of
oversight
funny.
that ultimately led to the health issues
Speaking
mentioned
of
in the
rotting
posters
metal.
and the 1983 closing of the
Remnant.
restaurant. William didn't kill the 5 kids, and Henry.
I'm sorry if I'm
wasn't
talking a lot,
stuff.
I just want to
Neither
be
one
more
was the
active
MCA
here.
murderer in FNAF 1 through 4, and Jeremy started the week after. He wasn't the
Bruh.
killer either. As a quick side note, I want to thank Andy and
Purple
Matrona
Guy
for
is
giving me
innocent.
the idea that Purple Guy might be innocent. To help me research
Well,
the timeline of
that
this
is
quite
100%
okay,
wrong now.
So William can be cleared of the MCI, but what about the 6
Rip.
victims of the Save Them massacre?
Why is there
The
6
fools of
blood
and 5 bodies thrown
dragged?
around like ragdolls, as if
Maybe,
a
I don't know.
100 Arnold Terminator had attacked? It's important to note that serial killers often have a signature, a method of
Yeah,
operation they use
which
in
is
their acts.
Williams
With this in
is
mind,
wearing
the
a yellow
Save Them
suit.
killer must have been a different person from the MCI killer,
Bruh.
because the MO is entirely different. The MCI
Or
was
it's
a
just
cunning,
that
stealthy
William was
striker
like,
hidden
I don't
room,
care
while Save Them
about
was a
this.
brazenly
I'm
careless
just
and
gonna
brutal deal like a smash that caused such a mess that the killer must have wanted
It's
it
like,
to be discovered.
thanks to Into the Pit, we know he
FNAF
does
said the
both.
Spring Bunny suit was noticeably moved and was
Don't
certainly used
care.
in at least one major event in FNAF's history. We've eliminated Spring Bunny's
Into the Pit's
involvement
like,
in the MCI
so you
since it
know
wasn't a
how
cartoon mascot, which
William
suggests
usually
by
brings
default
into
that
this
Spring
back
Bunny
room.
was the spray elusive Phone Guy
Breaks
mentions
knuckles.
being used
Well,
in Night 6 during the earlier
smash,
massacre.
smash,
Phone Guy
smash,
didn't
stab.
even know the Save Them massacre happened until Night 6. 6. Purple Guy never reported it, and either ran away or hid once the building went into lockdown, leaving a confused Phone Guy to wonder why the police were cordoning off his dream restaurant. So Henry, Phone Guy, couldn't have been the Save Them killer, and again, Jeremy arrived the week after. It seems like an open and shut case. The massacre happened after Purple Guy's shift, and he didn't report it and ran away when the police arrived. So we finally caught Mr. William after red-handed.
It's you!
Right?
You are the...
There is only one problem.
What's the problem?
This.
Plush trap?
The fun with plush trap
My little boy?
4 shows us a twisted memory of someone shining a flashlight that stuns animatronics down a dark hallway with 2 open doorways.
No one really thought of this.
Plush trap,
really.
the stand-in for Spring Bonnie, is going in and out
because
of doors,
Plush Trap's an
making
actual
their way
toy,
towards
he's
the
not a
player.
dream.
A quick look at FNAF 2's mini-map shows the very same situation exists in the dark hallway in front of the office.
And 4 party rooms.
Animatronic stunning flashlight keep Foxy and other robots at bay. In this minigame, we play as the night guard who actually saw the Save Them massacre taking place, which means we can only be one person, Purple Guy, and we are the one in the suit.
We stopped the massacre?
Earlier on, I claimed that the
really?
the animatronic characters could be linked to the kill events at Freddy's. That each kill event
we now know that Plush Trap's not really that important, and just as a toy that just
together, you get
is mass-produced by Fazbear Entertainment that does have killing capabilities.
Those of you with a keen eye have already spotted the error in this list. That more than 12 characters are active by the time of FNAF 2. The list isn't finished. Mangle and the Bear Endoskeleton have special backstories. Need much more time to do them justice. I'll get to them in the next video, but today we're trying to solve the
Mangle he was here sprite. Oh no.
I stand by my claims that the kill events have unique victim numbers, and tell the origin of all the animatronics we see. How then can we be missing 2? Because we're missing a 4th kill event entirely. Or more accurately, the second one. 2 posters in FNAF 1 appear to talk about the MCI. First poster claims that
5 children now reported missing
and were reportedly lured into the back room. While video surveillance
because this was earlier.
Morning, the children themselves were never found and are presumed dead. Police think that the suspect dressed
it's
as a
because the missing children incident didn't happen all at once.
The reports that 5 children are all linked to the incident at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
100% sure.
Dressed as a cartoon mascot lured them into a back room. While the suspect has been charged, the bodies themselves were never found. First,
missing children incident happened first, with 2, and then 3 more later.
Did 3 entire sets of parents forget to check
because Foxy Go is not showing the missing children incident.
Second, while both posters appear to talk about the same incident,
missing children incident is taken to a back room, which is not the same room as Foxy.
The first poster from June 26th says the man
that's not a back room,
was
that's a
actually
dining
identified
area.
On camera, and that police think that the suspect dressed as a company mascot. But if they had him on camera, wouldn't they know?
Yeah, I got you on camera.
He appears in this video feed, not someone in costume. In contrast, the second poster is absolutely sure that not only was a suit used, but that a cartoon mascot was used. The poster doesn't say the suit in question, but the video feed must show the actual suit if they can pin it down so narrowly to a character that
on which was feeling, which one was feeling like.
These 2 posters are not talking about the same event, but 2 entirely different kill events. The 5 victim poster even mentions how Freddy's is facing an uphill battle to stay open now that 2 bad incidents.
No, they all didn't die together. It was
FNAF 3,
incrementally.
Mentions the new and improved
even
Freddy's
Silver Eyes kind of show this.
Suits. The first 2 of Fazbear Entertainment's new weaponized
new
suits,
and improved.
The golden suits, Spring Bonnie and Spring Freddy, aka Fredbear.
By
the time of the MCI, this roster has been expanded to include Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy as
classic
well,
suits are not to be touched, activated, or worn.
This means the hidden kill event that actually happened on June 26th, before the MCI, involved 2 children being stuffed into Spring
Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. This is a Shadow victims, ain't it?
In our FNAF 2 roster, because the missing characters are Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy. There are lots of
those don't exist anymore because we know that Shadow Bonnie is most likely, this is still theory, but most likely a combination of all the Save Them massacre. Meanwhile, Shadow Freddy is most likely a combination of the missing children incidents agony. Both of them are agony based since that's what hide and seek has revealed to us.
The secret room in FNAF 2 also borders Puppet's prize corner, and likely has a secret door to it also. FNAF shows us that the ghost Yellow Bear in FNAF 1 and Shadow Bonnie in FNAF 2 have the power to actually kill the player instead of stuffing them. A ghost using astral projection would have materialized into the room and killed the kids, then disappear without a trace.
Shadow Bonbon.
However, we do have evidence that one of the golden suits actually
even though he's most likely just being mysterious.
The very existence of Golden Freddy. In the Silver Eyes, Golden Freddy is the ghost of a young boy named Michael, the 5th MCI victim.
Not anymore, at least not in the game timeline. Or if he is, he's another part of the Golden Quartet at this point.
Even tries to save them at one point. Golden Freddy isn't a killer.
He's like,
In FNAF 1 through 4,
I mean,
Michael's body mysteriously disappears between Foxy and Go-Go
most
and
people
Give
say
Gift
that,
Give
but
Life,
still.
and isn't around for the puppet to put into a suit, because he's already been stuffed
He
inside
was
the
stuffed
Fredbear
into the
suit.
golden.
In the Color Brothers, I asked how the MCI killer could both wear the Fredbear suit and stuff a kid inside it at the same time. An impossibility since the killer's body would already be filling the suit.
Hello.
But what if a human wasn't controlling Fredbear at the time? What if the empty Fredbear suit was controlling itself and could stuff someone into its own frame?
Yes.
This is how
Kill.
Michael became the second soul to reside in the Fredbear suit. He was consumed by its first occupant, Shadow Freddy, the true killer behind the MCI.
Because they're just
At
the
first,
same
it seems
colors.
like Shadow Freddy may have had involvement in saving them as well.
And the reason why
There are
Shadow
6
Freddy
blood
is based
spots,
off
but
Golden
only
Freddy
5
because
bodies.
the
And we
last
see
tip
Shadow
to be
Freddy
stuffed is
piloting
Golden
murdered
Freddy.
Fredbear in the parts and service room.
So
Isaac's
that's why it
glowing
takes the form of
signified
Golden
human
Freddy,
bodies present
since
in the
that's the
suit.
one who has the
Isaac's
most
glowing
agony.
slowly consumes the soul that was in the 6th body.
Shadow Freddy is
However,
not
Save Them had
physical.
a different style
He
than
is
Shadow Freddy's
Shadow.
stealthy trickery.
Even
And we have
though
evidence that
you can
someone
tell
else was
because
involved.
no shadow.
In Michael's hidden file, she
He was
tells
here.
us he was here, which immediately eliminates Yellow Bear, because her appearance in FNAF 1 is heralded by the stock sound Laugh Giggle Girl 1
Wait.
wave, which is then slowed down
But Michael's
from
not
all
a
the other
girl.
deep booming laughs we hear in the background of the first game. While Yellow Bear's appearance in FNAF 1 inspired
She
fans
is
to
not
create the
Golden
name
Freddy.
Golden Freddy, Yellow Bear is a girl, is not Michael. And
That's
kind of
funny, considering what we have now.
So Mangle's message eliminates the
Cassidy.
little ghost
Cassidy
girl known as
B.
Shadow
girl.
Freddy as the perpetrator of the Save Them massacre.
Ooga
And
booga.
since it wasn't Phone Guy, Purple Guy, Jeremy, or Shadow Freddy, you can guess which spirit directed Spring Bonnie to perform the massacre.
It is I, Shadow.
The Shadow animatronics committed both of the worst massacres at Freddy's. With Yellow Bear slash Shadow
yes.
Freddy
The ones who are
performing
just
the MCI, and
agony
Shadow
that
Bonnie
are
committing
based
the
off
Save Them
those events
massacre.
cause those events.
And both times, they did their best to frame Purple Guy, William Afton,
It
for
is
the deed.
me.
Why? Because we get to see who was behind the June 26th kill event in the memory in FNAF 4.
You mean the guy who was just
And this
doing his
time,
job?
The Purple Guy was responsible for the deed.
It is I. I am doing my job. At this point, William's not even a killer.
Torments Mike Schmidt
He's just in the
on
shadows.
the assumption that Yellow Bear was Golden Freddy, and Mike/William had been responsible for the MCI where Golden Freddy was killed.
Trying to get revenge.
But William didn't kill Golden Freddy. He killed Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie, and they wanted revenge.
Ah, yes. Because the shadows are
I'm
what
still
killed
piecing
him.
together the exact motivations Mr. William Afton had on June 26,
So,
1983.
William killed the
In
first two
Silver
shadow
Eyes, he forced
victims,
children to become part of his
but
animatronic
then-
family as a twisted way of acquiring love.
but then the
In
shadows
Sister
killed the
Location,
rest.
Little girl's stuffing was a terrible accident with an
Okay,
animatronic
then.
modified from its original
Why would they
purpose,
target
and
William
wasn't
at all,
truly
then?
William's fault. But for the sake of argument, what if in FNAF 1 through 4, the motive was revenge?
Yeah.
What if William actually knew that kid that Henry stabbed outside the restaurant? What if they were
No.
a member of William's
That's
own
it's
family?
not.
And by
It is
extension,
revenge,
Henry Afton's
but the
family
opposite
as
way.
well. What if the resentment that Henry would betray his own family
That's
just
not
to gain
Afton,
control
that's
of the
Charlie.
family business, William himself
Phone
had
guy
found
is
and
the-
ate away at
no,
him until
he's
he had to
not.
take action.
William's
Then,
the.
10
Oh
years
yes, the
later,
different sprite.
Henry's new and
Yes.
improved Freddy's opens, and Henry's
These
twin
two
children,
are
Sammy and
twins.
Charlie, come
Ah,
to visit,
yes.
and Purple Guy gladly shows them the new
I wouldn't
golden
doubt
suits
that.
in the back room.
Okay, to be fair, I
As
wouldn't
said
doubt that's
before,
Charlie and Sammy
many
though.
things are reversed in the Silver Eyes.
I wouldn't mic that.
Did Mike kill all? Not with his own hands, but by starting a cascading avalanche of
Mike
revenge
Kill All
that
is not
consumed
real.
everything
It's
in its
literally
path.
London bridges
Henry
falling
killed the
down.
puppet. William killed Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy out of revenge for Henry killing the puppet.
It's
Then
kinda
Shadow
funny.
Freddy killed 5 kids
This is
and
kinda
8 more
reversed.
to get revenge on William, while Shadow Bonnie killed 6 more to
Michael
the restaurant
killed-
again when it was reopened. The
killed-
Silver Eyes tells us the memories
So
of
in the
animatronics
actual
were
newer
reset each
timeline,
time they shut down. The MCI kids
after
could only
each
remember
shutdown,
that an
what?
adult killed them. So they attack adult night guards
No,
with vengeance,
they just
not even
they
knowing
just
that
don't
the
have their
fast-growing
memories
after robotics
until they're
conglomerate fear
because
is
they're in
using
the spirit
children's
world
anger to power
and
their
their
own
agony
sinister
forms
plan to
take
harvest the
control
souls
of their
innocent people.
animatronics.
William may have returned to the FNAF 1 location after 1993 to smash the animatronics and free the souls
But yeah,
of the children
it's kind of
in an
funny
attempt
that
to
it's
end
kind of
cycle
reversed
violence.
here.
But Shadow Freddy,
Because you
with
got
ultimate first,
in the
trapped
actual
the secret room
timeline,
as the ghosts
at
of
least
children
the
close in for
predicted
their
timeline
revenge,
that I
chasing
have.
him into Spring Bonnie, where Shadow
Crying
Bonnie
Child
held
gets
Purple
killed
Guy prisoner
first.
for 30 years. And meanwhile,
Oh
Shadow
no!
Freddy, Mimicking the voice of Phone Guy, who she devoured during the FNAF One Night 4 phone call event, took over the company as the only free
Shall phrase mimicking Phone Guy.
Chica's party room,
yes.
likely the location still open when she announced the ceiling of the secret rooms.
It's not the same. It's not the same restaurant. It's not even close.
She took one more shot
it's
at Purple
Animated
Guy's
Sideways. That's not FNAF
People
1.
have asked, who did the Bite of 87 ever since FNAF 1? A puzzle that wasn't
Bite of
solvable until
87.
the trailers to FNAF 4 came out. The trailer images are full of hidden 87s,
and we learned by Scott that was because he was thinking he was gonna do that, but
and the answer was waiting for us all the way back at the beginning, where Yellow Bear, Shadow Freddy, speaks her famous catchphrase, "It's me."
Thanks to Ultimate Guide coming out soon. That's kind of funny with the Fredbear jump scare there. Because you see in Fredbear.
Well volunteered for the hot seat in FNAF 1, knowing the dangers, but still trying to be near the only shred of the family he had left, attuned to a place and family that had once been magical. At least, as long as he could hold on, no other innocent guards had to die.
Because they're stupid. All the animatronics are really
is not a monster, just
because
pushed beyond his
they think everyone is William.
Facing extraordinary
just because they're
adult. He made a
adult.
rash decision out of a desire for revenge. Somehow
Charlie and Sammy are the shadows. That's kind of funny.
Rather than infinitely worse. A fateful decision that would haunt him for years.
When we know Charlie is the puppet, and Sammy is most likely still alive.
Just like how Shadow Freddy and Golden Freddy became two golden bear ghosts after being stuffed into Fredbear, Purple Guy became the second ghost that resembled the spring Bonnie suit. The second, Purple, Shadow Bonnie.
Dies.
The victim of June 22nd isn't the one who warps through a lifetime of memories while searching for a way out of a box. This is Purple Guy himself.
Yes, because slightly different look, he must be Spring Bonnie.
One of the only two kids Purple Guy ever actually killed. What does Purple Guy's spirit do when it finally breaks free?
Because this represents Purple Guy. That 100%. Not that Shadow Bonnie can change form or anything, because he's a shadow animatronic.
Bonnie of Happiest Day, eventually moving on. It might have been decades later, but it's never too late to right or wrong. And once Purple Guy did gain his freedom, he set off on his second errand. Returning to the sister location to find
William's face. That's kind of funny.
Victim, Shadow Freddy. Entered.
He's like,
Charlie.
Chica's magic rainbow.
While revenge might be the solution to this puzzle, FNAF shows us that it is not the answer.
Well, it's kind of funny. It still does. So that turn you down because you're going to do that. Okay. Like, once again, it went off again. It's funny that with the knowledge we have now, we know that whatever Foxy Go was, it's not out of the ordinary, the Purple Guys now, because, you know, we saw everything, and the fact that it shows that the bodies, William does do that, at least in his Spring Bonnie form. He doesn't really care where the bodies go. But then he learned, oh, why can't I, you know, try and do this? Basically, blow down to the back room and come over there. It's kind of funny that the shadows are Charlie and Sammy, which is, again, like I said earlier, we know Charlie possesses the puppet. Hello. And Sammy is most likely still alive in the game timeline as he is in the books as well, because Mrs. Emily took him away from Henry and everything. It's just a whole thing. The whole idea that the whole first recording is the only recording that happens in the summer, I doubt that, because while there is a summer thing, I believe either Scott made a mistake or the phone calls are lately recorded and we are coming back after a long time after, which is why we still see birthday party stuff around the location on your first week, even though the party would have been done. We have come back here to look at the animatronics here. That's at least my thoughts, because the only problem with it is the fact that, you know, we're being closed again and the pink slip. So it might be completely wrong, but it looks interesting. Ready for episode 3. Turn you down. Episode 3, the African Family Horcruxes. It's not episode 3, buddy. Apparently, that when someone dies in a spring suit, our entire soul goes into the suit. What happens when someone wears a spring suit properly? William didn't want to die in Spring Bonnie, so he loved wearing the suit. In fact, didn't see complete without it. Supposed to bite into your flesh. That's what created a connection between organs. Ah, yes. So that obviously, because we know that some type like similar thing is happening with Springlocks, at least remnants being in agony, being parts of souls being left into different pieces. Though it's not exactly that way. That covers most of what I wanted to cover. So let's continue the outro. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. If you did, please like the video. And if you have enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing and ringing that little bell so you can be updated on future videos. I have a Discord server in the description, as well as my Discord tag. I also have my Twitter as well in the description. So please consider checking down there. And with all that said, until next time, friends.